right, looks like it's just gonna be me. And that's okay because I just love producing content and I want to give you guys some valuable information. All right, but yeah, so today I just wanted to go into how to lose 20 pounds in 8 weeks. And for those that are watching the replay, thank you for watching and way to prioritize your health because we have all this information out there that you can consume and that you can just get on bandwagons, but actually listening to some long form content really shows that you're taking this seriously and you really want to get your health in check. So way to make it on here, and I'll make it quick, 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll also make it actionable so that you can go and take action today and start seeing results, because ultimately the reason you're here is because you want results, and that's what I want to get you. So I'm going to give you some action steps at the end, but I do highly recommend listening to everything because it's going to help you understand exactly why you need to do it this way, and the purpose and the intent and why it works. All right, so yeah, thanks for watching. So it is April, right? And most people started the new year motivated, their New Year's resolutions. And now it's to the point where the resolutions wear it off, and now summer bod is the next motivation, right? And so um that I go through the same thing, and I every week or so I end up starting something and falling off the plan. So what I'd say is, instead of waiting for another perfect time to start, just do this now and commit to it for the next 8 weeks. All right. So before we get into the steps, I want to go into how weight loss actually works. All right. And you've probably heard this word before because it's trending, but I'm going to explain it a little bit better for you guys so you can kind of apply it a little bit better. All right. So, in order for you to lose weight, you need to be in a calorie deficit, right? You need to eat less calories than your body burns. And let me pull up my notes so that I can help you understand this topic a little bit better. Okay. Share my screen. All right, so we got my screen here, and let's go over calorie deficit. Okay. So let's say your body on average burns 3,500 calories a day, right? This is what we call metabolic rate. So this is what your body burns, eating, working out, walking, digesting, etc. Everything it does, it burns 3,500 calories a day. So in order for you to lose weight, you need to be less than that 3,500. You need to be intaking, let's say, 3,000 calories a day. Okay. And then, yeah, a lot goes into figuring this out. But now you are in a 500 caloric deficit, right? And so that's per day. So over 7 days, that equals 7 times 500, 3,500 calories. And that is equal to 1 pound of fat, because 1 pound is 3,500 calories, right? And so that's simply explaining the caloric deficit concept, right? There's no other way to lose weight except being in a caloric deficit, right? Your hormones can dictate this number, this calories that you burn, because sometimes if your, let's say your testosterone or your estrogen is low, you have less energy and you're burning less calories. But ultimately, what you can control is this number, what you actually eat, right? And so, in order for you to lose weight, you need to figure out what you're eating and you need to be in a caloric deficit, right? So, that is a simple explanation of how fat loss works, right? And yeah, there's more to it. You need to track, you need to calculate, you need to build a bunch of habits to actually understand that. And if you do need help coaching you through how to get into a caloric deficit, I can talk to you after and you can message me and we can kind of go over how coaching works and how I coach people through that. Right. But that aside, so that's the science of how fat loss works. I'm just going to give you the three biggest levers that make fat loss easy, that make getting into a caloric deficit easy. Okay. Step one is you need to eliminate your biggest struggle, right? What's holding you back? So before adding anything new, look at your current habits. What's currently causing the problem, whether it's gaining weight, whether it's not being able to lose, right? What is it? Is it you're drinking too much sodas, you're eating too much fast food, you're snacking at night? Um, yeah, we're looking at the eating part of it. What is your biggest struggle? You love chocolate. You eat 4 to 5 chocolates a day, right? So you don't need to overhaul everything, but remove the obvious problems. All right. So for me, it's I tend to overeat. So if I have chicken and rice in front of me, it can be chicken breast, it can be a healthy meal, but I could still easily overeat, right? So I can eat 5 chickens and 4 cups of rice like nothing. It's still healthy, but it's a lot of calories and I can still get fat doing that. So what I do is instead of cooking, just cooking, I Tupperware my food and I portion it, right? And that allows me to just eat that portion and be satisfied. I don't know why having it in a portion is way better than having the bulk food there for me, but that's my biggest issue. And so, in order for me to fix that, I just portion all my foods. If it's for you, if it's drinking soda, stop buying soda or switch to diet soda. If it's eating fast food daily, let's say you eat breakfast at home, eggs and toast, fine. And then you eat fast food for lunch every day. Replace one of those meals, instead of eating lunch out, start cooking your lunch, right? That can go easily from like a 1800 calorie katsu plate to an 800 calorie 8 ounces of chicken and rice and broccoli plate. That's an easy fix. And boom, you're already in a 700 caloric deficit just doing that. Is it late night snacking? After you're done with dinner, you stay up late and then you find yourself hungry at 9:30 and then you snack on some ice cream or something. Okay, what do we do? Remove it from your house. And that's the only solution. You cannot rely on willpower when you're making that a habit in your life. You just got to remove that thing. Okay, or and I don't like this one, but you can replace it with a healthier snack, like maybe yogurt or watermelon. But I'd recommend just remove it. Don't snack at night because that's going to affect your sleep and it's going to affect your calories, right? So that is step one. You need to remove the biggest needle mover, right, in your nutrition. Okay, so find that for you, mark it down, and remove it or replace it with something that's more caloric friendly. Okay, that's step one. Step two, sleep. All right. This is the most underrated fat loss weapon, and it is the most powerful. If your sleep is off, your hunger goes up, your cravings go up, your energy goes down, and your consistency in whatever you're doing to lose weight is going to disappear because even your motivation and your willpower go down. All right. So there's this hormone called um, leptin, ghrelin. All right. So when you are not sleeping, your ghrelin, your hunger hormone goes up and you get hungrier. Why? Why is this the case? Because back in when we used to hunt food as like cavemen, when you're not sleeping, that means you're out there hunting for food, right? Because everyone went to sleep if they were full, but if they're constantly hunting for food, what do they sacrifice to hunt is sleep. So when you're not sleeping well, now your body thinks, I need food, I need food, I need food. Right? That sucks, but that's just how our psychology works. And so physiology works. And so yeah, you need to sleep better in order for you to control your hunger, control your cravings, and allow you to adhere to your plan a lot better. Okay. So here's what you can do starting tonight. Here are the top 5 things that will help your sleep. One is you need to get 30 minutes of sunlight daily. So you have what's called a circadian rhythm. All right. Your body has an internal clock. When it sees sun, it's awake, it gets energy. And therefore, when the sun goes down, it's like the opposite, it gets sleepy. So sunlight is what allows your circadian rhythm to get tired at night because it knows that you were exposed to sun in the morning. So it has the opposite effect at night. So get 30 minutes of sunlight daily, preferably as soon as you wake up. But if not, if you got to go straight to work, roll down the window on your way to work, lunch, get out and get some sun. This is so powerful for your circadian rhythm. Two is structure your meals in a way that is, I guess you could call it sleep friendly, right? So in order for you to have better sleep, you need to structure your carbs to later in the day because carbs actually helps your body relax. So carbs, when you eat carbs, it releases insulin, and when insulin gets released, it actually helps you relax and sleep better. Okay? So like this, like breakfast, try and have mostly protein, let's say eggs, yogurt, some fruit maybe. And then lunch, you can have protein and moderate carbs, some chicken, some beef, whatever, with maybe 1 cup of rice. And then dinner, that's where you can have your higher carbs, your 6 to 8 ounces of protein, 2 cups of rice, or 2 cups of potatoes. This is going to help your body release insulin and help your body relax and sleep better at night. So try and structure your carbs more for dinner if you can. Three is invest in blue light blockers. So the science behind this is not super valid, but I think it's more a placebo. So as soon as the sun goes down, you put on blue light blockers because we're exposed to light. Back in the day, no one had light. They just had candles and they blow the candles out usually by the time for bed. But we have screens, we have artificial light, we have everything here. So put on blue light blockers as soon as the sun goes down so that you're blocking your pupils access to artificial light. And therefore, again, when you block light, then your circadian rhythm tells you it's bedtime. It produces this hormone called melatonin, and melatonin helps you get sleepy. So invest in blue light blockers. The really good ones are like 60 to 80 bucks. But it's a great investment. I have three in my house. I have one in the kitchen. I have one in my room. I have one in my kids' room. So whenever I walk around at night, I have one I can put on. So get those. Felix Gray is a good brand. So search Felix Gray blue light blockers. Four, and this is probably going to be the hardest one for all of you, is charge your phone away from your bed. All right. So for me, I literally live upstairs and then downstairs is the kitchen. I charge my phone downstairs. As soon as I'm done cleaning the kitchen, I come up, put my kids to bed, and I leave my phone downstairs at about 6:30. Then I come up and go to sleep. Okay. Why? Why is the phone? We all know the phone keeps you up. We all know what doom scrolling is. It's also blue light. It's just gonna keep you up, and you're setting yourself up for failure. So leave your phone downstairs. Leave it in another room. Put it in the bathroom. Just get it away from your bed. All right, and then lastly, consider magnesium glycinate or citrate to help support recovery and sleep. So this is magnesium. It's a muscle relaxer. So when you take magnesium at night, again, it just relaxes your body and it'll help you fall asleep faster and get into a deeper sleep when you do sleep. So if you don't take magnesium, it's a pretty staple supplement I make most of my clients take. So like I said, if you fix your sleep, everything else becomes easier. Hunger goes down, cravings go down, energy goes up, and then consistency gets a lot better. So again, 5 steps: get 30 minutes of sunlight, structure your meals to carbs later in the day, use blue light blockers once the sun goes down, charge your phone downstairs, and supplement with magnesium. If you do those 5 things consistently, I promise you your quality of sleep is going to go up and fat loss is going to get way easier. Okay, step 3, the last step. I hope you guys are taking notes because that was a lot. Is control your food with meal prepping. All right, meal prepping is what makes your caloric deficit sustainable because if you don't have food ready, you're going to default to convenience and you're going to default to gluttonous foods because that's what we want. All of us are stressed throughout the day. And if you just default to like, I'm just going to make myself eat healthy. No, you're not. You're going to eat that katsu. You're going to eat that loco moco because that's a stress relief for you. So prep your food so you know exactly what to eat. And here's how simple it can be. I did a training on how to meal prep. I can send that to you if you want a quick like hands-on meal prepping solution. But pick 2 to 3 protein sources: chicken, ground beef, turkey. Cook a pound of each. Cook 1 to 2 cups of rice. Okay. Frying your ground beef and turkey, 25 minutes. Cooking rice, 25 minutes. And you can do that together. So we're at 25 minutes. Buy frozen veggies, another 10 minutes. That's what? 35 minutes. And you got 8 meals, 9 meals right there. That's breakfast. That's lunch and dinner for the next 5 days, right? Now your decisions are made ahead of time. So not only does this make calories go low, it also decreases the mental stress of figuring out what you have to eat. So it's a double plus. It's going to make you lose fat and it's going to relieve stress And that is what creates consistency is when we're in habit. All right. We're creatures of habit. So create that consistency by having those habits in place. Choose a day and do that. I don't know what else to tell you. If you can't do that, then maybe weight loss is not that important to you. Okay. Lastly, step 4 is you need to move your body consistently. All right. I know the first 3 steps were focused more on that caloric intake because that's important. But step 4, which is the caloric burn, the other half of the formula, it's also important, but it's not important because of the caloric deficit necessarily. It's important because of its mental benefits, because of the muscle building benefits, and because it just feels good. Right. So that's why this is the last step because it's the least important when it comes to weight loss, but it's still important for overall health. Okay. So, like I said, move your body consistently. So, find something you actually enjoy. Um, wait, shoot, I think someone might be joining. We're what, 19 minutes in? Sorry for throwing you guys off. Okay, no, never mind. Okay, so back to what we were saying. Move your body daily. So like I said, find something that you enjoy. If you enjoy lifting, then lift 3 times a week. All right. The RDA recommends about 150 minutes of strength training. So that is what, 3 50-minute sessions. So plan that in. If you like walking, you could do this every day because this is little to no joint stimulation. So you can do this every day. Swimming, swim, sports, pickleball, tennis, soccer, whatever you like, schedule it into your schedule 2 to 3 times a week for 45 minutes minimum. And that's how you're going to move your body consistently. And then here's a quick life hack. You can stack movements into your day, right? After meals, it's just called habit stacking. If you ever read the book, dang, I forgot the name of the book. Something habit. Anyways, but there's this thing called habit stacking where you stack healthy habits onto things that you already do. Okay. So what do we do daily? We brush our teeth, we shower, we eat. So after every meal, do 10 minutes of movement. It's gonna be 10 minutes of jumping jack, 10 minutes of walking. After you brush your teeth, do 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups. Before you shower, you can do 50 jumping jacks. All right. So if you don't do these 3 things, then maybe that's more important for your health than actually trying to lose weight. But we all eat, we all brush our teeth, we all shower. So stack movement onto those things you do daily. All right. Literally write it down right now. Before I brush my teeth tonight, I'm gonna do 50 jumping jacks. Before I shower, I'm gonna do push-ups and sit-ups. You can stack it with all 3, like just move as much as you can. So now you're not relying on motivation, you're building it into your actual routine. Okay. Those are the 4 steps, right? Eliminate the biggest needle movers. If you drink soda, stop drinking soda. Fix your sleep, meal prep, and move your body consistently. Right? You can have the best program in the world, but if you don't do it consistently, it doesn't mean anything. Right? So, what I wanted to do here today was I wanted to give you guys the simplest things to actually see that body weight come down. So if you can commit to these 4 things for the next 8 weeks, I promise you, you're not just going to lose weight because I know like if your goal is weight loss, probably overweight and you want to lose weight, but you'll become a completely different person. You're going to be more productive. You're going to be more motivated to do things outside of work. You might even start your own business like I did. Um, you're going to be a better parent. You're going to be a better spouse because now you have intent and you have purpose with everything you do every single day. All right. If you do actually want help and need the extra accountability just because life is overwhelming, well, that's where I come in, right? I'm a nutrition and personal trainer coach, online personal trainer, right? Shoot me a DM if you want, and we can see if coaching is a good fit for you. But again, if you do these simple 4 steps, you get a lot of progress, I promise you. All right, I try to make this short. Should be about 15 minutes. So listen to the whole thing, apply. You got this. And again, if you have any questions, shoot me a DM. Let's go.